What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I'm Craig, and today we got a lot to go over. I'm going to also show you a macro chart with the Elliott wave count that I have not showed in probably months. It's been a long time, but we're going to take a look at that. We're also going to be taking a look at dates that I think we're going to hit our local bottoms and local tops on our way down to the ultimate bottom. Definitely stick around. We're also going to look at the 4-hour time frames. If that sounds good to you, make sure you go down, smash those likes. If you don't do anything else today, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think of the video, and share the video. If you belong to any groups or anything, get it out there. Let people know. I do believe that the traditional markets are really close to reversing back to the downside, and that will take Bitcoin down with it. A lot of people don't like to talk about it, but Bitcoin depends 100% on traditional markets. It is still a risk asset. It is not used like it's, supposed to be. Not saying that it won't. I just think it'll be a long time before it does. And I'm going to show you the path I think it's going to take. But like I said, we'll also take a look at the near term, where to look for support and resistance, things like that. So if that sounds good, make sure you smash the likes. Let's get into it. So we talked about this yesterday on the Dow. I do believe there is a chance for one more push up on the Dow, and maybe that'll be today with the FOMC minutes meeting. We'll see what happens there. Obviously, we usually get some volatility there, so be careful if you're trading in the smaller time frames. All right, let's take a look at if it does come up to here. What I think this is an ending fifth wave diagonal right here. I drew this in yesterday showing you could get one more spoof up to retest this trend line and then continue down. But if that happens, usually when it gets up to these levels, it closes up around here. So it may close high before reversing, right? But as you can see in the daily, what that's going to make, no matter what, we're getting bearish divergence here. And I showed you guys, if we look at the weekly on the Dow, we're showing hidden bearish divergence. It's still showing here, even though we can move these up a little bit, but it's still showing hidden bearish divergence, and it is a downtrend. Hidden divergence is a continuation of the trend. Now, if you don't think that this run up is going to come down hard, you probably haven't been in markets very long. Not to say it isn't going to go up a little bit more, because it definitely can, but it is most likely very near within a day or two of the top before a big reversal. DXY got a little pullback here. As we've been talking about, this 200 EMA is what we need to watch on the DXY. Still very bullish, guys. We did get a bounce off the 200. Now, that's not to say if we don't get a rally in the markets, we can go back down, dip below it one more time. But I've showed you how parabolic this is. If we go over into the 80s, which was the same type of stuff happened with the inflation and everything else. I've been trying to warn people, guys. I don't believe many people are ready for what's coming. It is an opportunity. When this all does come crashing down, there will be cheap buys in the traditional markets. Also, Bitcoin, I would be very cautious of any altcoins, guys. Just be careful with those. I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, but they are the riskiest thing. If you're playing in altcoins, you're gambling. Yes, you can make money trading them, but if you think they're a long-term buy, I think you're going to be very disappointed. But as you can see over here, there's a 200 EMA on DXY. Every time we dip just below, but we continued our parabolic run in the 80s, where we were getting the same thing, inflation. Back then we had the problem of cocaine. Now we have the problem of fentanyl. Just a lot of things showing the same type patterns, same type things. If you guys are interested in trading, before we get into the charts, definitely check out Prime XBT. By far my favorite exchange. They don't trade against you. You can trade altcoins, Bitcoin, silver, gold, Forex, oil, S&P, all from one exchange. Definitely check them out. I have a link down below. I also have a tutorial on my YouTube page you can check out. I'll leave the video at the end on the top, how to adjust your margin, things like that. But if you are interested, you can use promo code SAVVY50. That'll get you up to a $7,000 bonus used towards your margins. SAVVY25 will get you 25% off your fees. Guys, I can't stress enough of what is coming is going to, especially these YouTubers and stuff that only watch Bitcoin. It's gonna surprise them, because I know a lot of people are calling for 10,000 being the bottom, 12,000. Now there's people saying it reversed and this was the bottom. Guys, look at this. This is what they're calling the bottom. Zoom out. That's not the bottom, guys. a bottom for a macro chart takes a long time, and I'll show you that in the video or in the charts to come. But let's take a look at what's going on right now. So as you guys know, still waiting for this 14.5. Why am I waiting for the 14.5? Because every one of these measured moves has hit. I've showed you guys how to do this. This is a rising channel. We called this back here. I told you when this would break that we would go down to that $25,000 level. We nailed it, right? And then we take that same trend line, we bring it over here, looking at this as a flagpole. This is a bear flag. We called this way before it happened. That's 16.4, right? And then bring this same one down and we get a target of 75 to 8,500. Now, that doesn't mean we go straight down to there. Our first target is that 14.5, which we've been waiting for since this broke. Still think we're heading there. This is a weekly chart. This does take time. This is where I think we'll get a better bounce. Will that be the bottom? I do not believe that'll be even close to the bottom, and I'll explain why and give you the time frames. But I believe what it's going to look like is something like this. But if any time this 14.5 breaks, I think it's going to be a quick fall back down to that 75 to 85. Now, if that happens this year, I still believe that's going to be a false bottom. Although it could be the bottom, there, you know, it wouldn't hurt to start getting in, you know, at least if you're trading, swing trading, getting in some longs, 75 to 8,500. You could probably get in some longs about right around that 14.5, 14.6 range also. And just be careful. Make sure you got stops below in case that does break. But I think it's going to look something like this. We'll range around in here for a while. Let me show you. These dates are not exact, obviously, but you know, once we hit this bottom, we may come back up, get another rally up to that 17,000 or so sometime in January or February, and then break down to sometime in March to that 75 to 8,500, and then get a big rally back up to that 14.5, 14,000-ish. It's going to look huge. Everyone's going to call the bottom. That's going to be the false bottom, and I'll show you. Stick around because we're going to look at that chart, and I'll show you why I believe that. And then once we do break this, I believe the bottom is going to be in sometime around September, middle or end of next year, 35 to 4,500. Once we break this weekly trend line right here, that'll be the false bottom confirmation. So keep an eye on that. Let's take a look at, this is another chart I wanted to show you guys. This is from our big drop here, right? Once we broke that, that was at that 32, that was one of the 1,000 bottoms people called. Once we broke that, we never came back up to retest it before breaking down, right? Our last one was 25.3. If we zoom in here, we never got back to that level again. Most likely because most people are waiting to get back to that level, right? So we never hit it there. Now we have around 16.6. So I highly doubt that we're going to break that. If we do, then this method is out. But as of right now, we have not broken that. We are actually making hidden bearish divergence on the daily here, right? Let me show you that. Higher highs in the RSI, lower highs in the price action, hidden bearish divergence, guys. It looks like it's going to roll over. Now let me show you another picture of the daily. So this was looking at this. We had called this top over here at 21.5 once we broke out of this triangle right here. We nailed it and came back down. I told you once we break 18.3, be careful. It's going to be a quick drop. Boom, we got a quick drop. And now we are playing around the 8 EMA on the daily, which will probably close below that. So there's our 14.5 target. That's what we're looking for. And the measured move of this triangle is also that 75 to 8,500 we've been watching for, right? Let's move this up just a little bit. There we go. So that's where I see us going. Once this is broke, that'll become our resistance. But first, I believe we're going to bounce off this 14.5, get back up to that maybe 17.2 range, somewhere in there before coming down. So we'll probably range around in here for a while. But remember, once we break this, I think that's it. And we head back down to these levels eventually. I don't think it'll be a straight line. Like I said, I'll give you the time frames here in a minute. But another thing I want to point out, this white trend line on the RSI, we are testing that again and getting rejected right here. I do believe we come back down to retest this bottom trend line like we've been talking about for weeks, right? Let's look at the 4 hours. So the 4 hour, we're going to redraw this now. So we had our levels for bounce. We got our first level here. That was off of this triangle. This has now been broken from the bottom side back up to the upside. We're going to get rid of these, right? We are going to adjust to what's going on. So let's put it on the both of these bottoms right here, right there. And we'll go over to here, put this in on these top wicks. You guys know I like to use the wicks. They're way more accurate. So now that puts the bottom of this down to about 15.4, right? And then of course, when that breaks, I think we break down to that 14.5 level, maybe get a bounce, rally up back into this range before coming down ultimately. And again, I'll give you the time frames here in a minute. But let's take a look at the ultimate. Okay, so if we break down here, we take the widest point of the triangle. Let's say we break down over here sometime towards the end of this month, right? That gets us actually all the way down to 12.6. So 12.6 would be what I'd be looking for if this 14.5 is broken. But again, I think we're going to come up in here for a while first. Also, you can see the major hidden bearish divergence. We're making higher highs in the RSI, lower highs in the price action. That's hidden bearish divergence. Looks like it's time to roll over here. We're also getting rejected right at our 55 EMA right here, this yellow trend line. So guys, be careful. This is a macro view. This is my Elliott wave count for the macro view. Each one of these waves, this wave 1 has 5 waves in it. Perfect. Then we have ABC correction. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves within wave 3. Now, a lot of people say wave 3 is shorter than 1. It is not shorter than 1. And I'm going to show you why you think that, because you cannot look. I just got it on the log scale so you can see this, how it is. By the way, make sure you smash those likes. I know a lot of people forgot, so I'm just a reminder. But what happens here, and then we had ABC correction, then we had our 5 waves up. But if we put this in regular, right, what we had here is the third wave is often the longest, not always, but it's never the shortest. Wave 1 is tiny down here. Look how tiny it is. Tiny wave 1. Then we had our wave 3, massive rally here, and then wave 5 with a big overextended 5th wave, right? And it had 5 waves within it. And look what's happening now. We broke our high over here. I do believe we're headed back down to these ranges here. And I showed you guys this in the past. Let me go back in the log. This supply and demand structure, right? This is supply and demand. This is the indicator. If you guys want to check it out yourself, it's the RSI supply and demand, right? So you can see what happened right in here. That was the top of wave 1, top of wave 3, top of wave 5. I've showed this in the past. This is the December 2nd Bitcoin bubble compared to .com bubble chart, guys. We called this in December, on December 2nd. You can go back and check my video. I explained we would keep getting lower lows, then get bounces. Everybody would get bullish again, only to wish they would have sold because they'll make a lower low. Then we start bouncing again. Everybody gets bullish over and over and over. That's exactly what we have been seeing, guys. Nothing is different here. You can also see here's the RSI. Once we broke that RSI, that was our false bottom, which I believe we're going to see sometime in February or March down here to that. You know, could be as low as 65, but I have it at 75, 85. Get a rally. It'll be like 100% rally. It'll be a great place to get in and just trail it with stop losses. Once it turns around, I think it'll probably rally up into April or so. And then boom, come back down, make our final low sometime around September. You can see how I've drawn it out in the RSI. This is how I believe it's going to be playing out. Now, if this RSI breaks that trend line, then I think that will be the false bottom. So if it was to break here, this was the false bottom. We have lower to go. This is the same thing. Amazon weekly laid over Bitcoin weekly. You can see it is playing out beautifully, guys, beautifully. This is the 10-year plan I have, unless the 55 EMA is broken before we hit the bottom. And right now that currently lies around 28,000. So if it was to play out like this, we have our bottom at 35 to 4,500 in the middle or end of 2023. Then we get our halving cycle, which is just the thing with the halving cycle is everybody thinks it always reaches a new all-time high. Well, it did when the traditional markets were in a bull market. right? Because the traditional markets have been in a bull market ever since the Bitcoin was created, right? So it'll still get its rally in a 4-year cycle because it's a 4-year election cycle, right? So it'll still get its rally, but it won't go to a new all-time high if this plays out the way I believe it is. Again, guys, this is not financial advice. I'm showing you my views and the way I'm looking at the market. So far, so good. This could be the hugest opportunity of a lifetime. Get into these longs, get into this short, or just buy down at the bottom, sell up here middle or end of 2025 between 35 and 45,000. And then we get 14 to 22,000 sometime middle or end of 2028. Then the middle or end of 2029 up here, we get another 56 to 62,000. And guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're going to be tracking this whole market. If something changes, I'll let you know. But that would be in the middle or end of 2029, and then back down to the 20 to 30,000 in 2030. And then boom, 10 years after the all-time high, we might break it just like we did over here, guys. That's what I'm looking at. Nothing has changed. I'm still looking at the same stuff, guys. If you guys are following along, you'll know that so far we have been playing this beautifully. So anyways, make sure you smash those likes. Also, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Do you think we've bottomed, or do you think we have much lower to go? Now, I know a lot of people think that when I say it has lower to go, it has to happen this year because people believe in that 4-year cycle. But just be careful out there, guys. The same people that are calling the bottom right now are the same ones that were calling it at 60,000, 55,000, 50,000, 45,000 over and over and over and over again. I don't know why so many people watch them, guys. Maybe it's just for entertainment. I don't make this an entertainment channel. I'm trying to be show you an actual view of the markets and what I'm seeing. So if you guys enjoyed it, make sure you let me know in the comments below. Also, check out the videos above. I have the December 2nd Amazon compared to Bitcoin chart. You might want to check that out. And the Prime XBT tutorial. Check them out. I'm out of here, guys. Have a good one.